Hi everyone, my name is Julie. This is Keep Calm with Books and Coffee. I talk about books on this channel, mainly books about magic, and if you want to see more of that, you can hit the subscribe button down below. And today we're going to be talking about the series Bingo Challenge. Hello everyone, and welcome to the bingo board that I couldn't resist, because Rainy over at Rainy Blue Reads created a bingo board all about the series that we want to read in 2025, and I could not resist making a TBR for this, just like I am for everything right now, even though this is probably going to change over the course of the year, because I can't stick to one book for one bingo. It never happens. I always switch it up. There's always a DNF. There's always a mood read change, something along those lines. And I come to you with very chaotic energy today, at least chaotic for me, and I decided to just embrace it. This is the second time I filmed this video. The first time it just didn't work out correctly. So, you know, we come sans makeup, we come late at night, but I had the energy to do this tonight, and I was like, I am gonna embrace my inner Rainy and just be chaotic about it. So, and, you know, put it together, film it, edit it, upload it within like 12 hours. Just embracing Rainy's challenge as much as I can. So let's jump into what the pile of possibilities is gonna be. So the very first challenge is finish a series. And this is gotta be the first one, because this is something that a lot of people put at the very tippy top of their priority list each year, or they repeat every year or whatever. So finish a series. And I'm going to give myself a little bit of an extra challenge with this one, because I'm picking a series that I would have to finish 2 books in order to finish the series, and that is the Wayfarer series by Becky Chambers. I have to finish the second 2 books in the series. Now, I don't know that this is going to happen, but, you know, I want to give it a shot. I want to try to push myself to read these 2 and finish off this series, because I adore it, but I consistently forget about reading it. Second challenge is an intimidating series, and for this, I'm choosing Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is one that I have wanted to get back to, but it intimidates me, and I talked about this a little bit when I talked about it in my series Scary Diaries video, because I am intimidated by this because I started it, lost access to the book, and then never went back to it. So I just have to get past that point where I, you know, and that feeling of soft DNFing it in order to try it. But it intimidates me because I really want to try it, really want to read it, and I did soft DNF it. So then we have a favorite author series, and I would like to start the Dreamer trilogy by Maggie Stiefvater next year. I've talked about this a lot, how I was rereading The Raven Cycle, and now I want to jump into Call Down the Hawk. So this is one that I absolutely need to get to ASAP, hopefully January. But I'm making a lot of plans for January, so should probably, you know, calm it down a little bit, but I don't know how. Next is second in a series, and for this I actually ended up choosing 2 books because I couldn't decide. So the first is Storm of Locusts by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is the second book in the 6th World series. And then I also have The Whispering Skull by Jonathan Stroud, which is the second book in the Lockwood & Co. series, which I've been meaning to read. I was hoping to read this month in December, but my plans for my TBR really went off the rails. So this is one that I would like to prioritize next year. But both of these are ones in series that I'd like to make progress in next year, or I think I'm going to DNF the series. So they both kind of had to go on this challenge list. Then we have a questionable series, and this I'm going to go with the Atlas 6 series by Olivia Blake. I've heard a lot of like mixed things over the course of time about this series, and I really don't know if this is going to be for me. It has a lot of buzzwords for me, but it also has a lot of things that I'm not interested in, and I haven't tried an Olivia Blake before, so this is really one that's up in the air for me, but I'd like to give it a shot next year, and so I'm really on the fence about this one. On the opposite side of things, we have Series You Think You'll Love, and for this, I'm choosing A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. This is a series that I am almost sure I am going to love, because I have been interested in it for a really long time. I already have a plan to read it next year, and I am so excited to read it. I just consistently forget about it. It just has so many buzzwords for me, and I've read like the first chapter or so in samples before. I'm almost positive I'm going to love this, and I cannot wait to like really dedicate my time to reading it and jumping into this series. Next up is Dual or Multi-POV, and for this I'm choosing The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. This is the second book in the series, and I read the 5th season in November, ish, sometime in this last couple months. And I really want to continue on with this ASAP because I don't want to forget anything about the first book. So this is definitely one that I want to jump in as soon as possible. I'm not sure that this is a dual or multi-POV, but the first book was, so I'm going to assume that the second book is. I will replace it if necessary. Next up, we have a 5-star series, and I think Rainey's explanation of this was a series that you think you're going to give 5 stars or one that you have given 5 stars in the past. And for this, I'm going to choose Witch Shadow by Susan Dennard. I absolutely need, no ifs, ands, or buts, to reread the Truth Witch series next year. I have been dying to reread this and I have never made it a priority, and I absolutely want to. So I need some motivation to do so. It should just be this book, but that hasn't been doing it for me lately. So somebody give me yell at me if we get to the 6th month mark of this year and I haven't started a reread of this series. I love this series. I'm sure I've given at least the last couple of installments 5 stars, if not all of them. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Hence, I need to reread it. The next prompt is a Friend Rec series, and for this, I am going to choose. It's by Carissa Broadbent and Rainey loves it, and I can't believe the name is escaping me right now. She's screaming it at me in the comments, but it fully has left my brain. So I'm gonna put the cover here. I'm so sorry I can't remember the name. It's the evening, my brain is shot, and I just didn't write it down. So I want to say Serpents and Shadows, but I think that's the second book or maybe a combo of the first and the second book. So we'll have the cover here, and Rainey will scream it at me in the comments. Then we have BIPOC author, and for this I'm going to choose the Brown Sisters series. I would like to continue this next year, and that's all I'm going to say because my thoughts are going to be in a vlog that's upcoming at some point. But yeah, I'm hoping to continue this. Then we have series influenced by, and for this I have to choose Men the Moon Hatched by Sarah Parker. I simply was influenced to buy this. I couldn't resist all of the chatter I've seen about it. I couldn't resist. So I had to go buy it, and I'm probably not going to get to it before the end of this year. There's just too much going on and my reading pace has been too slow. Oop, but we're going to get to it next year. It's a chunky one, but I'm excited to try it. Then we have Pretty cover series, and for this I'm going to choose Heavenly Tyrant by Jiren J. Zhao. This is the second book in the Iron Widow series, and I am so excited that this is finally coming out. It's coming out at the very end of the month here, and I'm thrilled that it's going to be in my hands. I absolutely need to get to it, and I love the covers for this series so much. Then we have TBR Veteran series, and for this I'm choosing The Tiger's Daughter by K.R. Arsenault Rivera. If I put this on enough TBRs, it will end up being read, or I will finally give up on it. It is the oldest book on my physical TBR, and I just need to read it. Then we have the self and indie published prompt, and I am not well versed in the self and indie world of fantasy, and I would like to work on that a bit next year, but for now I'm going to choose the Peculiar Taste series, and this is a series of novellas that was published through, I believe, Kickstarter, so these are bind-ups. I have 2 volumes left in this series. I read the first one this year, and I'm excited to try more. The final prompt is Representation series, and for this you can choose a book with LGBT characters, anxiety, mental health rep, etc. And I have to get Faithbreaker on here somewhere, and the God Killer series has such a number of representations. We have characters who are amputees, we have deaf characters, we have queer characters, we have BIPOC characters, we have a lot of characters who have a lot of different representations in this series, and I absolutely love this series. So Faithbreaker comes out in April, and I am chomping at the bit for it, so I had to fit it on here somewhere because I'm going to read it as soon as it is in my hands, and I'm really, really excited for it. So that is my series TBR bingo challenge. I tried to pick as much off my physical TBR as possible, but I did sneak some other things in there. Thank you so much to Rainey for creating this challenge, and I can't wait to try it out and hopefully make a lot of progress in series in 2025. That is it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts or feelings or want to share anything about the books I talked about today, please let me know down below. If you aren't feeling chatty and you want to leave me a let's just say something blue for rainy, whether it's the blue dot or raindrop, whatever. Leave me something blue down below. And that is it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.